Hi, this is Rob, YouTube's Grandad. How are you all doing today? Well, I've been out today doing lots of stuff. My granddaughter's cheerleading competition, which was quite fun. That was up Guildford. I'm first time ever using this type of mic. So as it's really windy up here, I'm hoping the little grey stuff and that stops a lot of the wind coming through. What I wanted to do a video on today is one of the things that the reason I started doing YouTube videos in the first place is mainly because, you know, my mum, bless her, had Alzheimer's, had a bit of dementia at the end, unfortunately, and you know, got to a point where, you know, I couldn't talk to her properly. She sometimes didn't remember who I was, and when she passed a couple of years ago, one of the things that, like, now I'd love to do or listen to is her, I don't know, just talk, you know, rant on about stuff and tell me about her life and what she got up to and things like that, and just general chats which me and her used to do, especially when we used to go out to Petersfield Lake and things like that. Sorry. And so the main reason I was starting the channel in the first place is to record myself doing things, showing things off, talking on the video, explaining stuff, you know, granddad type stuff as well as dad stuff. So what I want to do today is go into one of our many stories and adventures that we've had over the years, me and the kids, when we've been away. Before I start, just show you where we are quickly. We're up and show you the view. Look at that, look at that. What a view. What a view. And if you're not sure, that big shiny thing in the sky, it's the sun. Alright, let's get back to it. So, one story I'm going to tell, which is something, again, you know, later in life, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, where I might have popped clogs, moved on, maybe, you know, I do have something wrong and I can't recall everything. So I wanted to do videos on some of the adventures that me and the kids had over our time of going away and that. Now, we didn't really have, I would say, lots and lots of money in the early days and all that, so a lot of it was always in the UK, which, you know, never anything wrong with that at all. So this one goes back, oh, I would have gone back, so he would have been about, so I think probably goes back about 15 years. And what we were doing, me and my daughter and my youngest, we were going for, I think it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks away. We were going up to Blackpool for about 5 nights, I think it was, and then going up to Scotland to do a bit up there at Hadrian's Wall, which there's more stories around that one, which will be a different video. So what happened was, we'd gone to Blackpool, thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, had fun like we normally do, and when we left there, we went through the Lake District. Now, when me and the kids went away, a lot of the time, you know, there's a straight line from there to there. Very rarely did we ever do that. A lot of the time, we would literally start going in the right direction, and then we would just see signs for stuff or just see something and go, oh, wonder what that is. So a journey that might took us 4 hours would end up taking us 6 or 7. So on this particular time, we were going through the Lake District from Blackpool up to Scotland, and we started going up this hill, and we got to a point where it was going up so high, literally, you know, quite vertical up, that we got a point where all of a sudden, like, we felt like our ears were popping. We must have gone quite high, and then I can't remember which one of them said, "Dad, look at that." And we looked over, so we quickly pulled over and stopped, got out of the car, and it was a massive lake, almost like in the hills. Now, I couldn't tell you exactly where it was, but I remember being there, and it was so still, and that kids loved it. They thought it was brilliant. You know, we spent probably half hour, 45 minutes up there, got some good photos and things like that. If I can find any, I'll stick them up. Maybe someone knows where it was. But thoroughly enjoyed it. And then we left there, started carrying on driving through the Lake District. Now, I can't remember exactly where. We went through a small village, stopped, had a cup of tea, obviously, and they got soft drinks, I think, and that. So we left there, about half hour. Left there, got to about, what was it? About 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, something like that. And then we see all these cars. We drive down the country lane. We see all these cars parked up along the side of the road, and you know, us being us, like, oh, wonder what they're there for. So we pulled over behind one of them, and we could see that some of the people were walking up pathways, because obviously it's Lake District and there's quite a few hills and everything else around, and we thought, okay, let's go for a walk. So in them days the kids were quite adventurous, quite happy to go for long walks. So we started walking, followed all these people up this pathway. It started doing a reasonable incline, you know, going up. It was quite fun. The scenery was spectacular, I'll be honest, absolutely spectacular. You get a chance to go to Lake District, I would suggest going. Now, what happened was we did that and we started getting up further and further. And unfortunately, one of my children, I won't mention who because she'll kill me, didn't want to go up any further. Now, anyone ever taken their kids out before will understand this. If you want to get somewhere, you tend to say to your kids, don't worry, a few more minutes and we'll be there. Now, we could see the top part of this mountain, and we were like, yeah, okay. So, you know, she struggled, but you know, we got up there so far up, then we took a break, got a bit more further, took a break. You know, she got a little bit upset, didn't want to do it anymore. I mean, my youngest didn't help because he was like winding them up quite a bit. And I just kept saying, come on, look, we'll be at the top there, then it'll be all the way down. And by this time, there's a lot of people that weren't around us. We literally couldn't see anybody else with us. So we thought, didn't really think much of it because we were taking breaks. Either they're way in front of us or they've gone back or something. We didn't really take notice of other people, to be honest. And so we kept going and kept going. The daughter finally got to the plateau thingy and almost like collapsed over it. And then this was a bad news, which always happens on our adventures. It's never as simple as what you think. So we got to the plateau thing, and then we realised it's quite a big plateau, you know, reasonably wide sort of thing, probably as wide as, you know, half of this field here. Unfortunately, it was a sort of a stopgap, because as you got over the plateau and collapsed, like, oh, knackered, oh, we'll be going down in a minute, we realised we were probably only about 3/4 of the way up. So at this point, I had to try and convince my daughter it's a good idea to keep going. She was very reluctant, but I said, you know, take a lot longer to go down. If we went all the way up, you've achieved it, blah blah blah, giving a normal dad speech, trying to get her to go up. Eventually she agreed. Me and my son and her started trying to go up. Now, this is where it gets a bit funny. We started climbing up, and I hard to explain to people, but it literally started off a bit like that on the plateau, started going a bit like that, and quite quickly it was more going like that. Yeah, it was quite steep, and we got quite far up this thing, and I'll be honest, there was little places you could put your feet, big bits of grass you grab getting up. It probably wasn't the safest, I'll be honest, but you know, onwards and upwards. It shows what it was like, which I get reminded of sometimes when we talk about this. When we were climbing up there, we couldn't see anybody else, and all we could see was like mountain goats. So probably it's probably one of the right way to go. So you see all these mountain goats on the way up there, and my kids at this point, not too pleased, I'll be honest. And I went, look, it's just a little bit further, just a little bit further. So they struggle on a little bit more, and they go, how much further? You know, dads, just a little bit, a couple more minutes. They were there. So about 20 minutes later, we finally could see the top, and hadn't seen anybody for, well, a good hour or so, sort of thing. And my kids at this point weren't too pleased with me, I'll be honest. So we get to the top bit of this, and we're literally got our hands on the top, clambering over it. We're like struggling like hell to get over it, you know. But I'll be honest, I feel we all had a sense of achievement at the end of the day. So we get up over the top, and as we pull ourselves over the top, we're thinking we'd be all right now, we should be at the top, which gives us due, we're basically at the top. However, halfway down where we took a break and other people clearly gone off, we did notice that there was another pathway. So when we got to the top of the thing and we're clambering the top, thinking, you know, we just climbed Everest, to be honest, felt like it. We got up to the top, struggling like hell, dirty, kids not too happy, a bit miserable, grabbing this grass, trying to pull ourselves over. And as we pulled ourselves over, the big achievement of what we had done, we basically pulled ourselves up onto the pathway that everybody else had took. My kids don't tend to let me forget that. But yeah, we got up there. And I'll be honest, when we were at the top, the sights and everything else, beyond belief, it was magnificent. But yeah, that's just one story. Whenever we go on holiday, regardless where it is, abroad, in this country, traveling around, we either someone gets hurt, which there'd be quite a few others that do. Oh yeah. And it's either that or we'll have adventures, you know. But that's what life's about, stories. You know, when I'm dead and buried and gone and everything else, my kids, which is what I'd love to have had from my mum, my kids will have this video that they can at least look back on, listen to my voice, see me talk about things. You know, so I'm going to do quite a few videos like this, upload it, just so it's a record of things that we've done in the past and everything else. I hope, like, when I make these videos and I upload them, some people enjoy them. And it'd be fun to know if other people have had adventures like us, because trust me, this is a mild one compared to some of the others. And one of the stories which I'll tell maybe next is when we actually got up to Scotland, and the expression "my shoe" comes into play. Watch the next video, you'll totally understand that. But yeah, we had a great holiday, like we always do. But what I'd always say though, if you're going on holidays and things like that, you know, don't always go A to B. Go A, zigzag, zigzag, up there, down there, across there. B, you know, otherwise you miss anything. Which is probably the best analogy, really, is the TV series Race Across the World. And obviously in that series they have to literally give them money and they have to travel from one place to another place, which is thousands of miles away, and not use planes. Now what do? They end up exploring so much stuff. And as the kids were younger, we did that so many times. We have so many adventures. I can't even remember us having a holiday or an adventure where it didn't either have some issues or something like that, I'll be honest. But you know, you can save up for all the holidays you want, have all the money and all the, you know, lavish stuff and everything else. But what will your kids really remember? They remember the quality time you spent with them. Admittedly, the kids always say they got a bit of PTSD of some of our holidays. To be honest, can't overly blame them. But no, we had a lot of fun. I'm really close to my kids, and that's something I take pride on. At the end of the day, spending as much time with your kids and quality time. You know, it's not all about sitting down watching TV with them. Sometimes it is. It's getting out, having the adventures, going for walks. I know, climbing trees. You know, I've had things where I was climbing a tree with one of the kids. I fell out of it, hanging upside down. Kids laughed their nuts off. And do you know what? They never forget it. To be honest, I never forget my wife. I rinsed my back on that day. And that's the point. Spend time with your kids, quality time. You know, and as they get older, they still want to spend time with you. I spend a lot of time with my kids. My oldest, I go and play pool, snooker with sometimes. We go to cinema. we will sit down and watch progress. Fun enough, we're watching race across the world at the moment. The youngest, you know, he works quite a few hours as well, so I unfortunately only get to see him every other week. I ring him and we text and things like that. But and also for his 21st this year, we're going to Thailand. You know, me and him going on holiday together. You know, that's what I'm saying. You know, my daughter and my granddaughter, you know, I spend a lot of time with them. We always spend generally all day Saturday together, and sometimes we'll be going out together. You know, we're all going on holiday together. Next year we're planning, all of us, to go away to South Korea. So, you know, everyone's hyped up for that. But none of us, you know, I think we're quite close family, and I always believe I was a good dad, and I think I still am, and hopefully a good granddad now, because also, you know, next generation come along. But, you know, I'd always say what I said today, a minor adventure to what we had, but the kids will never forget it. You know, apart from that, we've got stories where oh sorry, bug. Stories where we went up Snowdon, which I'll be honest, that didn't end too well. But again, you know, kids will never forget it. But that's the whole point in it. You know, once I'm gone, the kids, I hope that they fondly remember me as a good dad and remember all the good times. I just would hate to get to a stage like my mum, where, you know, she can't remember much of her past life, and, you know, when you turn up to talk to her, she doesn't remember who you are. I mean, it's a horrible thing to go through, and obviously many people do. But this is why, like, I'm doing this video today, because, you know, I'd love my kids that if they want to listen to me ramble on about some of the adventures we've had, then they got videos for it. Or like at the moment, you know, if I had any more grandkids or anything like that on the way, you know, heaven forbid that something could go wrong with me, because I get health issues like anybody as you get older. You know, I'm getting on for 60, but I'd hate to think like my grandkids, you know, I don't like my granddaughter, she's 6 in a few days, and, you know, you hope it doesn't happen, but say I died, you know, in a year, 2 years, 5 years, you know, how much would she remember about me? She'd probably remember stuff, but, you know, the mind plays a trick on you. You forget sounds, what their voice was like, them having a laugh. You know, hence why, you know, see the video of me and my granddaughter making the cabinet. My granddaughter doing her video, you know, which apparently she wants to do some more. But, you know, that's what I mean. Be close with your family. Don't always cover the fact of having money, property, cars. At the end of the day, you get older, all that stuff doesn't really matter. You know, you can't take any of it with you. You know, if you die at a certain age, you know, what will people remember about you? That's what you got to think about. And for me, I hope that my kids, you know, remember all the good times we did have, all the fun times, all the silly stuff, all the stupid stuff we did. But, you know, get out of breath now. But yeah, so I'm going to make more videos like this. Let me know if you like videos like this, but I'm going to make more anyway. It was one of the main reasons I wanted to. Oh, it's a plane. Oh, it's a Spitfire. Hang on, I'll just show you. You sit. You got it. You see these Goodwood quite a bit. That's always cool, especially when you get the motor shows on. You hear all the cars. Where you are, you can hear all the cars. But yeah, I want my kids, if they want to, or my granddaughter or any future grandkids, to be able to, at least, if they want to listen to my voice, even about things that we did on holiday, that they've got the opportunity to do that. Because like I said, I'll be honest, I don't know about the rest of you. I would love nothing more than to listen to my mum, to her voice, her talk about her life, about some of the stuff we did. Obviously, if you want to be politically correct, you know, coming from that sort of era, I don't think many of them were. But, you know, I'll be honest, I miss my mum. And I'd find nothing better than just to listen to her now, or even talk to her, but obviously that can't happen. I'm certainly not going to do one of those AI things where you sort of bring them back to like, oh, I think that's horrific. But I'd love to have had some videos of her, proper ones where you can listen to her talk about, you know, her things, some of the stuff she did in her life and all that sort of stuff. So, like I said, I'm going to do more videos like this. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. But yeah, if you can like, subscribe, share it on. You know, at the end of the day, I want to grow the channel a little bit, because when I do retire, which I'm hoping maybe be 62, so about 3.5 years, I want to do more videos. I'll be traveling around more. So yeah, so if you can like, subscribe, pass it on, you know. But I'm happy to keep doing these stories. It's more for my kids than the channel, if that makes sense. But yeah, so this will be the first one of many, and there will be more. So hope you're having a good day where you are. I am. It's really hot. I will see you on the next one. This is YouTube's Grandad, signing off. Have a good day.